credentials are secure. All of that is a result of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. And again, who voted against it? Jon Ossoff. And let me tell you what else it did. It also made sure that we save one of the most important programs in our country, and that is the Medicaid program. I was chair of the Health Subcommittee. We are the ones who crafted that. And let me tell you, you know what we did? We said, look here, if you're an able-bodied adult and you're on Medicaid, you better be working. You better be working. At least sitting on the couch getting this. We got rid of waste, fraud, and abuse. We made sure that illegals are not going to be on Medicaid. We made sure of that. Jon Ossoff voted to allow illegals to be on Medicaid. That is ridiculous. He made sure that does not happen. What else did we do with the One Big Beautiful Bill Act? We secured our border. Ladies and gentlemen, our border is now secured, finally, thanks to Donald J. Trump. Apprehensions are down 97%. That's extremely important. We have to have a safe country, and he's made sure we've had that. What else have we done? We've also passed a rescissions package. We've gone back and rescinded $9 billion worth of spending that this previous administration had spent. Guess what? Jon Ossoff, he voted against it. Now, folks, Jon Ossoff was born into a wealthy family, and there's nothing wrong with that. I hope all of you were born into a wealthy family. I was not. My grandfather was a sharecropper. My dad worked shift work in a paper mill. I was the first one in my family to go to college. Went to Young Harris College, then went to University of Georgia. Then went back and opened my own business. A hard-working American. I've seen what government regulations can do to you. We need to make sure, and that's what this president is doing. He's making sure that we are going to do away with some of the rules and regulations so the government doesn't get in your way of business anymore. And folks, let me be clear to you. This pin that I have on my lapel here, it's got two flags on it. It's got United States and it's got Israel. I support Israel. Jon Ossoff voted against sending arms 2 weeks ago to Israel. He does not support Israel, and he's Jewish. I can't understand it. Jon Ossoff does not represent the values of Georgians. He represents the values of AOC and of Bernie Sanders, not of Georgians. He wants to see males participating in girls' sports. Well, who would want that? I have 6 granddaughters. I don't want a biological male in their locker room, but Jon Ossoff does. He does not work for you. He works for they, them. I work for you. I'm running for the United States Senate. I'm working my ass off to get rid of Ossoff. That's what we're going to do. One last thing. I want to thank Vice President JD Vance for being here. But I want to thank Donald J. Trump for what he is doing for America. America first. We need someone in the United States Senate who's going to support Donald Trump and his America First policies. I've done that in the House. I'll do it in the Senate. He is negotiating peace. That's why I nominated him for a Nobel Peace Prize, because he deserves it. He is the greatest negotiator of all times, and he is trying to get peace in Ukraine and Russia and in the Middle East, and he will do it. Thank all of you for being here. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless America.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Congressman Mike Collins.
Well, hello, Fayette County, and hello, Georgia. You know, I want to thank Vice President JD Vance for his leadership and for just coming down to our state today. You know, I had the opportunity to meet JD back when he was just JD. On the campaign trail, probably about right now, about 3 years ago, I was up in Ohio campaigning. He was up there campaigning for the U.S. Senate, and it's odd how things work out in 3 years. But I want to talk to y'all about something. For those of you that don't know me, I am Mike Collins. Y'all, I'm just old blue-collar, small businessman, conservative that was born, raised, still live and work over in Jackson, Georgia, in Butts County. I happen to represent the 10th District in Congress, and I'll tell you something. Back in 2015, a businessman named Donald J. Trump came along, and boy, he was saying everything that we were thinking. Y'all, that's enough is enough of this mess. He took on the political class. He stood up for the workers, the American workers, and y'all, he put our country first. And here's what he did, the best thing that he did. He started running that place like a business up there. And I think we need more business people in Congress and in the U.S. Senate. And that big, beautiful bill that we passed not too long ago, y'all, it made history. That one bill changed the trajectory of this country, not just for weeks, months, or a couple of years, but for generations to come, for your great-grandkids, kids you'll never know. This was a huge historical bill. As a matter of fact, it set small business on a path where they had clarity. At least they're not going to be taxed higher than corporations now. It also let them to be able to forecast with things like just bonus depreciation, which is so important to businesses like we have here. You know, it also gave American workers tax breaks. It made sure that the child care tax credit wasn't cut in half. It also helped our farmers. You know, it secured our border and made sure that these illegal aliens are not flooding across our country and these thugs like the one that murdered Laken Riley in my district. It also helps rebuild our military. I'm going to tell you, yes ma'am, I'm going to tell y'all something. I believe in a strong military because I believe in peace through strength. Here's the personal thing about the big, beautiful bill. There's a thing in there called the 529 Savings Plan. It just allows you to spend your money to send your child to get a technical degree, like a commercial airline pilot or aircraft mechanic certificate. That happened to be my personal bill that we pushed, couldn't get into 118th, but by gosh, we got it in a big, beautiful bill. Now listen, here's the problem that we stand at right now, and that's over in the Senate with this liberal, woke Jon Ossoff. Y'all, he doesn't reflect Georgia values. Nah. And this guy is a trust fund kid. Never had a real job in his life. He doesn't know how to build a business, make decisions that have results. Matter of fact, he didn't vote for any of this. He doesn't stand for this. He comes down to the state of Georgia, he gives us lip service. And then what does he do? He goes back up there to D.C. and he votes with that woke, liberal, left-wing, controlling group that he's under. Speaker Newt Gingrich hit it right, man. He is California's 3rd senator. Well, by God, I'm going to tell y'all something. Come November 2026, we are going to fire Jon Ossoff. I'm going to leave y'all with 2 quick things. Number 1, I'm sick and tired of these people out there saying we don't live in the greatest country in the world. Y'all, this is the best country in the world. We ought to be proud. We ought not walk around apologizing. We are the biggest and baddest on the block. This is America first through and through. If it's not good for Georgia, if it's not good for this country, you can count me out. Last thing, when that Senate race comes up, you need to make sure that you send a proven conservative workhorse with a record of getting results who's going to stand shoulder to shoulder with President Trump and Vice President JD Vance to make sure that we continue this America First agenda and we get this country back on track. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Lieutenant Governor Bert Jones.
All right. How we doing, Fayette County? It is good to be here, and what a great crowd. And I want to thank the Brown family, Rex, Justin, and Eric. Where are you guys? Yeah, let's give them a big round of applause. Back there. What an outstanding facility. I got to meet some of the folks that work here for them, and met a young lady that's been working here 30 years, another one 12 years, and you can tell that this is a family business that cares about their employees and cares about the American way. But born here, raised here, and also producing a great product right here in Fayette County, Georgia. Let's give them a big round of applause. I want to thank the two congressmen that came before us, my neighbor, Mike Collins, and also former colleague, Buddy Carter, right here. Also want to thank Coach Dooley. Coach Dooley, he doesn't remember this, he recruited me out of high school when he was at SMU. He didn't realize I didn't have much ability, so he didn't waste much time on me, but it's good to have both of them here. I know we have Secretary Loeffler. Kelly, where are you? Kelly, she's here today. Let's give Secretary Loeffler a big round of applause, too, as well. We have many State House and Senate members here. I know I say Senator John Kennedy, Tim Bearden. I know I saw Representative Houston Gaines here, Beth Camp. I know y'all, all the State House and Senate members, stand up and be recognized here real quick, please. And I see former Congressman Drew Ferguson right here. Used to represent this district very well here. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my good friend Brian Jack, Congressman John Jack, who's the congressman here today. So if I missed anybody, I apologize. I came in the back door, how they usually let me in on places. You know, they won't ever let me in the front. But it is great to be here. I'm Bert Jones. I'm the Lieutenant Governor here of this great state, and I'm like the Brown family. I'm from a little small town over in Jackson, Georgia, and I have a family business there. I'm very proud of it. And I'm going to be running for governor because I want the great state of Georgia to continue to be a red state. So. We've had a lot of great strides here, a lot of things to be proud about. The #1 state to do business for the last 11 years. We've had unbelievable growth from an economic standpoint, from a population standpoint, and we want to keep going. And I could not be happier to have a partner right now in the Trump-Vance administration that we have right now here in our country. How about it? Let's give it up here. We have not had a sitting vice president come to this area of the state in 33 years, and so we want to thank Vice President Vance for being here today. I got to see him earlier today when he got off the airplane. He's excited about being here in Georgia. He's excited about promoting the big, beautiful bill, and because I'm excited because America's back, ladies and gentlemen. America's back. We're back on the domestic stage and putting America first, putting America jobs first, putting American industry first, and also securing our border. But more, also just as important, we're back on the world stage where people are fearing us through strength, through strength. And as your next governor, and I hope I can earn all of y'all's support, well, the things I'm going to focus on are going to be very simple. We're going to try to keep this economy running. We're going to try to keep us the #1 state to do business. And I want to do that by incentivizing people, by eliminating our state income tax. That's #1. We're going to prioritize education. We're going to prioritize skill-based education in our school system. We're going to prioritize public safety. I see my good sheriff from Coweta County there. We're going to be a law and order state. And we are going to be prioritizing Georgia workers and Georgia citizens here in this state, and we're going to promote companies just like this one today, because that is the backbone. Family businesses, small businesses is the backbone of our economy, and we want to incentivize them to strive here in the state of Georgia. And if I'm the governor, that will happen. I can promise you. So. This is a great opportunity, and I will tell you right now, somebody said, who's your competition? I said, I don't worry about competition. So I think you catch more fish watching your own cork. That's an old Georgia term, if you don't know that, by the way. But I'm not going to focus on that. I'm going to focus on earning your vote. And I was proud to have President Trump's endorsement last week. He said that, thank you very much. I've been with President Trump since he first came to the escalator way back in 2015, and I've never wavered from him. And he rewarded me by saying, you know, Bert, you've never asked for anything. When can I endorse you for governor? I said, now as good as any, Mr. President. So I appreciate that, but when the Vice President gets on the stage, let's give him a great, warm welcome, a Georgia welcome, because it is such an honor to have him here today. I appreciate each and every one of y'all here. I appreciate the Round family. I look forward to seeing y'all on the campaign trail. God bless y'all, and God bless the great state of Georgia. Thank you.
You're always on the run now, running after
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the president of Alta Refrigeration, Eric Brown.
Wow, what the heck did you guys do back here? Guys, everyone, welcome to Alta Refrigeration. Guys, what an honor. This is a monumental day as we celebrate significant progress with to continue to work together for a common goal. I've got one question for you guys though. Is everybody ready for this? Oh yeah. As somebody would say, this is going to be huge. All right, guys. When you walk through the door of Alta Refrigeration, you walk into something different. An organization built on the following principles. We stand for integrity. We work with competence. Actually, we work with experts. And we lead with compassion. And all of these things put together equal one thing. It's trust. That's what drives the Alta team, and quite frankly, guys, that's what drives me. And at the heart of it all, it's all about our employees and their families. This company isn't just machinery and piping, it's people. People who show up, people who give their all, people who do the right thing every day. Thank you, guys. And those values, integrity, competence, compassion, they're not just business values, they're American values. And these same values, our men and women in uniform fight for every single day. So if you've served in the U.S. military and are here today, please stand so we can honor you. You represent courage, honor, sacrifice, the best of America. Thank you guys for your service. But that same fighting spirit lives right here at Alta too. We fight for our employees. We fight for their families. We fight for their customers. We fight for the American values, and we fight for what's right. At Alta, we are a team, and when you're part of a team, you look out for each other. That's the American dream. That's what Alta is all about, and that, my friends, is what's happening today here. So let's not forget our customers, the backbone of this industry, hard-working American businesses running cold storage warehouses, the ones who make sure food goes from the farm to the warehouse to your family's table. And those tables, they're not just for eating on, they're for conversations about faith, freedom, and family. This is where American values are passed down, and this is why what we do is so important. And today, guys, again, honored and stoked. This is a monumental moment for Alta Refrigeration, a company that works tirelessly for its employees, its customers, and community, while also making safe and sustainable decisions to protect our future. Now, I want to introduce someone very, very special. Someone who understands this fight, someone who has been in the trenches, someone who has worked side by side with someone named Donald J. Trump. someone who is detailed, driven, dedicated to the people he serves. In my book, guys, this man is a rock star, and he is here with us today. Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, this rock star is none other than our Congressman, Brian Jack.
Well, thank you, Eric, for that incredibly kind introduction. And before I begin, let's offer our appreciation and gratitude to the entire Alta Refrigeration team for hosting us at this historic event. Thank you. It has been 33 years since a vice president visited Fayette County. Some of y'all may remember. In 1992, February of 1992, Vice President Dan Quayle came to Fayette County. He visited Fayette County High School, and he went to Malier's Barbecue, for those of you who remember that wonderful place. In fact, Justin, Alta's incredible executive vice president, was there, and so too was our sheriff, Barry Babb. And 33 years later, we stand in one of the best places in our state to do business. The community we've built, the community we have built and the economic environment that we have created continue to invite investment from all across the world, and I'd like to acknowledge some of the local elected leaders who are responsible for this success. Fayette County Sheriff Barry Babb. Fayette County Judge Jason Thompson and his wife Alicia Thompson. Peachtree City Mayor Kim Leonard. Peachtree City Mayor Pro Tem, one of my good friends, Clint Holland. Peachtree City Councilwoman and someone who, along with Nancy Holland, is very responsible for the success of this event, Suzanne Brown. Peachtree City Councilwoman Laura Johnson. Former Peachtree City Mayor Steve Brown. Former Peachtree City Mayor and my first boss in politics, Harold Logston. Former Peachtree City Councilman Mike King. Tyrone Mayor, just up the road, Tyrone Mayor Eric Dial. Tyrone Councilwoman Jessica Whalen. This gentleman is the Dean of the Mayors of Fayette County. We've got Woolsey Mayor Gary Lagos. State Representative Karen Mafiak. And my predecessor, former Congressman Drew Ferguson. Now, if I can also ask all the brave men and women of our law enforcement to stand up so that we can acknowledge your service. Thank you for protecting our community. Fayette County is one of the best places in our state to do business, but Georgia is consistently ranked the #1 state in our country to do business, so I'd like to acknowledge some of the statewide elected officials who are here with us that have helped deliver that success. You just heard from him, our Lieutenant Governor Bert Jones, who was recently endorsed by President Trump to be the next governor of our great state, Bert Jones. We have with us Labor Commissioner Barbara Rivera Holmes, Public Service Commissioner Fitz Johnson, who is up for re-election this year, and my incredible in Congress will start Georgia. Congressman Andrew Clyde, a United States Navy veteran. Congressman Rich McCormick, a United States veteran. And Congressman Mike Collins, our neighbor whose father, Mac, ably represented Peachtree City for 12 years. Mike Collins. Thank you also to Coach Derek Dooley for joining us. It is an honor today to welcome Vice President JD Vance, two members of President Trump's cabinet, Administrator Zeldin and Administrator Kelly Loeffler, to my hometown of Peachtree City. My career path started on Willow Bend Road at Peachtree City Hall, and that path eventually led me to the White House to serve the 45th and 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, for 8 straight years. And when you work for President Trump for nearly a decade, you certainly learn a lot. And a lesson that I very much valued was the importance of promises made and promises kept. President Trump is the absolute best at this. He has single-handedly reoriented our electorate to present to elected officials a very simple equation. How many promises did you make and how many promises have you kept? And throughout my campaign for Congress, I made a consistent set of promises to each and every one of you. I promised to vote to make permanent the Trump tax cuts that were set to expire at the end of this year. I promised to vote to unleash America's energy potential by unlocking our vast lands for energy exploration. And I promised to vote to secure our southern border by providing the resources necessary to finally fund President Trump's border wall. And I, along with my colleagues here, delivered on every one of those promises by voting to pass and enact President Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill. I also promised to continue the historic deregulation that President Trump achieved during his first term. And one of my first actions in Congress was to fulfill this important pledge. Just down the road in Peachtree City is the corporate headquarters of Rinnai America Corporation. Rinnai builds tankless water heaters, and they do so at a state-of-the-art facility in Griffin. Their CEO, Frank Windsor, and their VP, Perry Meyer, are here in attendance today. And shortly after I was sworn in, Frank and Perry reached out, and they explained they had a problem. You see, on December 26, 2024, the day after Christmas, when all of us were with our families, the Biden administration imposed a job-killing regulation on tankless water heaters that would have effectively closed a factory in our district. Hundreds of jobs and millions of dollars in investment in our community could have been lost. Rinnai asked me for help, and I got to work. So in January, my colleagues and I introduced legislation that repealed that Biden regulation. In February, House leadership put our legislation on the floor, and it earned a bipartisan majority as it passed. In April, the United States Senate passed it, and in May, I stood by President Trump in the Oval Office as he signed into law our legislation that repealed a job-killing Biden regulation and saved hundreds of jobs in our community. Because of this success, the leadership here at ALTA reached out to me and said they had their own challenges they needed help navigating. And again, I got to work. You see, in 2023, the Biden administration imposed a sweeping set of accelerated regulations on the refrigeration industry. The regulations very specifically targeted the cold storage warehouses that are manufactured here in this facility. And if these regulations go into effect next year, the cost of production would be 2 to 3 times higher than what it is today. My team and I continue to work diligently with the incredible staff of President Trump's and Administrator Zeldin's Environmental Protection Agency to support the 150 hardworking Georgians at ALTA, and I look forward to delivering regulatory relief to each and every one of you today. When I ran for Congress, I didn't necessarily expect to be a congressional champion for commercial appliances. But deregulation across our community is a promise I made and a promise I kept. A final promise I made to you. the citizens of our district, was to invite America's leaders to our part of Georgia to see firsthand the incredible things happening in Georgia's 3rd Congressional District. During my campaign for the Republican nomination, we had Ben Carson, Jim Jordan, and Kari Lake visit. Last October, President Trump hosted an event in the 3rd Congressional District for the first time in his political career. In April, our wonderful Small Business Administrator Kelly Loeffler joined me for a small business tour in Troup County. In May, the Secretary of Energy joined me at Renai's tankless water heater plant in Griffin to celebrate our legislative success. And today we welcome the 50th Vice President of the United States and 2 members of President Trump's cabinet to Peachtree City. The Vice President will be here soon, and when he arrives, let's give him our absolute warmest welcome and loudest welcome from Georgia's 3rd Congressional District. If you like tax cuts, safe streets, and cheaper gas prices, you're going to like what he has to say. And now, I'd like to introduce a very dear friend. She was an incredible United States Senator. She is a smart businesswoman who has devoted so much time and so many resources to so many of us in this room to ensure our state is positioned for a better future. And she is now a key member of President Trump's cabinet. Let us welcome the Administrator of the Small Business Administration, Kelly Loeffler. Thank you.
Thank you for packing the house for our great Vice President JD Vance. I am so honored to be with y'all. I actually flew in from Ohio this morning, our Vice President's home state, where I got to drive a dump truck this morning. That was the best time. Oh my gosh. First of all, I want to make sure that you know that your great Congressman, Brian Jack, here in the 3rd District, is fighting for you every day. I know he's been called a rock star. Now I want to call him the real deal. This guy's fighting for you. Let's give him a hand. I'll tell you someone else who's fighting for you, President Trump. In just 7 months, he has achieved so much. He's restored common sense to this country. He's closed the border. How about that? He's returned to Made in America. That's huge. He ended woke DEI and the Green New Deal. He got boys out of girls' sports. In fact, President Trump has done every single thing that the last administration said was impossible. Well, of course it's impossible when you're sleeping on a beach and the auto pen is running wild. President Trump has not only restored hard work to the White House, he's restored decency, and he's restoring strength and economic growth in this country. So whether it's drill baby drill or ending rampant Bidenflation, this president gets more done in 1 week than the last administration got done in an entire year. Yeah. He's just like all of you, the hardest working guy in the business. Now, if that's not enough, he spends his weekends negotiating trade deals, and he spends his weekends also negotiating world peace. Now, if he doesn't get the Nobel Peace Prize for that, he should definitely get the Peace Prize for restoring sanity and safety in Washington, D.C. And look, President Trump does it all for hardworking people like everyone that's here today. And that includes small business owners like the Browns here at Alta Refrigeration, small businesses that have been crushed by massive regulation, the threat of taxes, Bidenflation, and the list goes on and on. And it's why the President and congressional Republicans moved so quickly to pass the largest working family tax cut in American history. This is a bill that was for Main Street. It's for families, it's for students, it's for seniors. It's unleashing an unprecedented era of prosperity in this great nation. This economic agenda is rocket fuel for Main Street. I have seen it firsthand. I have been in 24 states so far, and I have talked to manufacturers who are spring-loaded for growth with 100% expensing for Made in America. I've talked to welders and mechanics who are going to take on more hours thanks to no tax on overtime. What a concept! Yes. I've visited with barbers. I've talked to waitresses. They're going to take on more shifts because of no tax on tips. And I have talked with working families right here in Georgia who are going to take home $10,000 more every single year because of the One Big Beautiful Bill. You know, and this bill is proof that President Trump believes in the American worker. He believes in American industry, not in Washington bureaucracy, because the fact is, for too long, for way too long, the bureaucrats in Washington have told you that you work for them. Those days are over. This government works for you. So I'll wrap up with this. This is the bottom line. Every single congressional Democrat voted for a $4 trillion tax increase on you. That includes 2 senators from right here in Georgia. We won't forget those votes, but they won't stop this powerful economic agenda. That's right, because President Trump and Vice President Vance are only getting started. They understand that it's not about making sure Americans aren't left behind. It's about putting Americans first. And my friends, that is how you make America great again. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you, everyone. Shut!
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin.
President JD Vance. Oh, yeah. Listen, it has been an honor to serve in that Trump-Vance cabinet and the administration over the course of 2025. We inherited a very big mess at the Environmental Protection Agency, but we are fixing everything. We've chosen to both protect the environment and grow the economy. What a concept. We could do both. Just over the course of this year, we have now canceled over $29 billion worth of grants, $18 million in real estate consolidations, $1 million in canceled media subscriptions. Sorry, guys in the back. $750 million saved in salary staff reductions. We are doing this with a zero-tolerance policy for any waste and abuse because we care about protecting your precious hard-earned tax dollars each and every day that we are on this job fighting for you. The one big, beautiful bill that Congress just passed and President Trump just signed ended up rescinding billions of dollars in green slush funds that were going towards the friends of the last administration. Former Biden and Obama administration officials, unqualified recipients, self-dealing, conflicts of interest, reduced agency oversight, under the banner of climate alarmism through policies and through money. They have taken this agency and this government in the wrong direction. And each of us, we inherited our own messes, but we are motivated for you, understanding what the Trump-Vance mandate is, what the American public voted for last November, and we are committed to doing everything in our power every single day to fight for you and to make you proud. Is President Trump and JD Vance making you proud every day that they're in office? Oh yeah, it's an honor to serve alongside them. At the Environmental Protection Agency, we are doing more deregulation in 1 year than entire federal governments across all agencies, across entire presidencies. That's how much deregulation we're doing. We're doing the largest deregulation in American history, and proud of it. Last week I was in Iowa with our great administrator, Kelly Loeffler, and we made an announcement along with the Secretary of Agriculture, Brooke Rollins, because we heard from Georgia's farmers and others about diesel exhaust fluid and the need to reverse the crazy deratement. So we made that announcement on behalf of Georgia and Iowa and across this country to reverse the death derangement. We're getting your water to flow more. We're getting your gas cans to flow faster. We're going to stop those annoying start-stop features on your car. We hear from the American public about what matters to you, and whatever matters to you matters to us, and we will fight hard for you every single day. Now, JD Vance has been an amazing leader, proud to call him a friend. He's a Marine. He's someone who would give up his life in defense of this country. He loves our flag. He cherishes our freedom and our liberty. Our nation is stronger because JD Vance is our vice president. Our nation is safer because JD Vance is our vice president. He is courageous. He is wise. He is battle-tested, and he is ready. He is our America First messenger, not just in his words, but also in his deeds. For all of us as Americans, when we go to sleep at night, we put our head down on the pillow. We're able to rest easier when we send the right people to office to fight for us. And your Congressman, Brian Jack, by the way, is doing an amazing job fighting for all of you. And we're grateful to Alta Refrigeration. And as I was just discussing with our vice president backstage, we at the Trump administration are heeding the call of Alta Refrigeration. See, there was a new regulation called the Technology Transition Rule that came out, and they were getting rid of all different kinds of access to refrigerants where costs were going up. Supply was going down. It was costing more to be able to fix that system. And Alta Refrigeration and grocery stores and the semiconductor industry and residents all across America were speaking about the impacts of this rule. So once again, here we are every day, another decision, another dollar, another moment, another opportunity to fight for you. We're here to announce that in the coming days, we will be releasing a proposal that will fix this mistake of the technology transition rule. We will deliver on what Alta Refrigeration has been asking for and demanding from this federal government, and we will deliver for Georgians who are tired of being sick and tired of people who aren't representing them. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you a warrior, a patriot, a leader, a friend, somebody who we can trust, somebody who fights for us when we see him fighting on our behalf, but also is fighting hard for us when we don't see him in front of us. Ladies and gentlemen, all day, every day, JD Vance and his team understand what's at stake for America. He is doing his part. The Trump administration is doing their part with the great help, the fearless leadership and determination of this man, our next speaker. Give it up for our great Vice President, our Marine, JD Vance.
Brought to you courtesy of the red, white, and blue.
How we doing, Georgia? Thank you. Please, it's great to be in Peachtree City, and I gotta say, you guys have got a hell of a congressman. We love Brian Jack here in the 3rd District of Georgia. Thank you, Brian. Now, we got a few other people. I want to thank, of course, the great EPA Administrator, Lee Zeldin. Lee, thank you so much. And proud Atlanta native Kelly Loeffler, thank you for all you're doing at the Small Business Administration. All right, you guys are lucky to have a great Trump-endorsed Lieutenant Governor Bert. Bert, good to see you, man. How we doing? Bert greeted me on the tarmac today. He had been on the tarmac, I think, for a few minutes because he was sweating bullets. And that hot Atlanta sun, I felt bad for him. But Bert, thank you. You're going to make a great governor for the state of Georgia. And we're with you every step of the way. Now, I understand we got a little preview. This is my idea. A little preview of the Senate race here in the great state of Georgia. How'd they do, ladies and gentlemen? Do good? Well, let me thank Coach Derek Dooley. Derek, thank you for being here. Let me thank Representative Buddy Carter. Buddy, thank you. Good to see you, man. And, of course, the great Mike Collins. Mike, thank you for everything that you do. It's good to see you, man. Now, here's the thing. We're at a great American facility. I want to thank these great workers behind me. I feel bad for these guys because they got to stay up the whole time I'm talking. You guys get to take a seat, and boys, strap in, because we're going to be up here for about 3 hours. You give a politician a microphone, and it's always tough. Boys and girls. We've got a few ladies back there, too. But here's the thing. This facility, this manufacturing plant represents what makes America great. Because the products that you build, the jobs created here, the ingenuity and the technology and the development and all the things that actually make America run are built right here at this incredible facility. So to the workers, and thanks to the people who make this facility run. Now, I heard something before I went on, because there's this big refrigerator right behind me, right?
And somebody told me it was 13 tons. Is that right? That's a big refrigerator. Now, am I also right that a lot of the products that you guys make go into Chick-fil-A? Is that right? Okay, I know that's a great Atlanta company, but as a customer, a frequent customer at Chick-fil-A, I've got a personal connection because you guys make a great American company run, and that's what I love about this country. When you guys make a great product, it enables more great products to be made. That creates more jobs for our people, that creates more American innovation, and it creates more prosperity for the American worker. And I'm here, of course, as a representative of the President of the United States that has done more for the prosperity of the American worker than any president in a generation. So can we give it up for President Donald J. Trump, because I know he's watching. And I know what the president ran on, and what the president cares about is building things right here in the United States of America. It's another reason why I'm proud to be at Alta today. Because for a generation in this country, we had American presidents and American political leaders, and let's be honest, folks, it wasn't just Democrats, it was Democrats and Republicans who would ship our jobs overseas, close our factory doors, and do not a damn thing for the American worker. So how nice is it in Washington, D.C. to have a government that is going to protect your jobs, that's going to fight for this facility and say, very simply, if you're building it here, if you're making it here, if you're producing it here, we are going to give you, and already have given you, a big fat tax cut. That's a good thing. But if you make it overseas, if you try to do something with a foreign worker as opposed to an American worker, if you try to ship our great American jobs and great American factories overseas, then you are going to pay a big fat tariff before you bring that crap back into the United States of America. And that's what President Trump's economic policies are all about, my friends. It's the carrot and the stick. We want to make it easier to build in America. We want to make it harder to build overseas. We want to make it easier to rely on our great American workers because we got a lot of them. American businesses ought to employ American workers. And we want to make it harder to employ foreigners to take those jobs from the Americans who deserve them. And most importantly, if you're working hard every single day right here in the United States, or if you're building a business right here in the United States, you ought to have a tax code that rewards you instead of punishes you, and that's what happened when we passed the Working Families Tax Cut just a couple of months ago, and of course, Brian Jack was a critical part of that, so you should be proud of your congressman. Now, what does this law mean? What this law means for you is that your take-home pay is going to go up over $10,000 over the next few years. What that means is that if you're working an hour of overtime, the federal government is going to keep its money the hell out of your pocket. Because if you're working hard, the government ought to leave you the truth. Do we have any single moms out there? Any single dads? Any people who work hard every single day? I had a single mom, and for a time my mom worked at a restaurant. She waited tables, like a lot of folks out there. And you know what we did in this new law? We said that if you're working hard and you're making your income via tips, we are not going to tax tips anymore because we want to give everybody out there that's working hard for those tips a little bit of relief. And that's what the Working Families Tax Cut did. No matter where you are in this country, if you're working hard and play by the rules, you ought to have a government that stands up for you instead of fights against you. That's why we increase every single day. The that he supports voted to raise because he's allegedly worried about people getting kicked off their health care. Well, you know what? The President of the United States made a promise, a sacred promise, that the only people who are going to lose access to health care are illegal aliens who shouldn't be in this country to begin with.